How are you doing today? Welcome back to another reaction video. Today, we're going to be reacting to a non-sports video. We're watching teaching in the US versus the rest of the world. This one caught my eye when I saw this on my recommend it. I was like, you know what? I want to react to this. I'm not going to watch it yet. I want to react to this, put it on YouTube because, well, teaching in America, let me just say, I obviously went through high school. I didn't really have that big of a problem with it. I was a pretty good student. I thought, actually, education-wise, I was taught pretty well. What I didn't like was the standardized testing, and I know, of course, for actual teachers, I love history. I would have loved to become a social studies teacher or a history teacher, but obviously, they put up with a lot of stuff that they don't get paid enough to do. Okay, teacher salaries are not good when you start off. It costs so much money to become a teacher. If you want to become a teacher, you expect to be paying over $50,000 just to get the certification. Okay, if you get a college degree and let's say you're already $80,000 in debt and you want to become a teacher after, you still have to pay like $30,000 to get a degree. Problem is, it just costs so much. Apparently there's a teacher shortage, but at the same time, nobody wants to become a teacher and pay $30,000 just to get treated like crap. Why pay $30,000 when your starting salary is going to be $30,000? That's just my idea to the teaching education system in America. Has its pros and cons. As a student, I didn't really have any problems. I liked it as a student, but I could definitely see as a higher up becoming a teacher, I can see the problems. And of course, I was in a pretty good, decent school district. I know, of course, throughout the world, throughout the country, not every area has a good school district, obviously, depending on the funding and stuff like that. So, hey, let's get right into this video. Hope you guys enjoy.
This is Anna.
This is from
she
Vox.
Just graduated from college in the United States.
Link in the description.
And this is Sophia. She also just graduated from college in Finland. Anna and Sophia both want to be
college
middle
is
school teachers,
expensive.
but it turns out there's a good chance their experiences will be very different. So different that Anna is twice as likely as Sophia to leave teaching for good. That's causing a problem. The supply of new certified teachers in the United States is shrinking, but the number of public school students keeps growing.
Massive teacher shortages.
Warnings about teacher turnover.
Educators call Colorado's teacher shortage a crisis.
That's what I'm saying.
So what makes Sophia stay and Anna leave? And how can the United States keep more of its teachers in the classroom?
I'll have more comments at the end of the video because there's some stuff I left out in the introduction.
In the US, teachers work about 9.25 hours a day. That's an hour and a half longer than the average for teachers in other countries in the Organization for Economic Development, or OECD for short. That's a group of mostly wealthy countries that economists often compare to one another. Teachers in the US work more than 2.5 hours longer than their colleagues.
I'd like to know if those
Korea,
other countries
Finland,
have school
Israel.
all year round compared to a lot of schools in America,
similar teacher work hours to the United
which
States,
they're off in the summers.
like New Zealand, Singapore, and the UK. Teachers in Japan, for example, work nearly 2 hours more per day than teachers in the US. But in all of these countries, teaching hours are much lower. Of the 9.25 hours that American teachers work every day, they spend about 5.5 of those hours actually teaching. That's more than the OECD average, and significantly more than teachers in New Zealand, the UK, South Korea, Japan, and Singapore. Teachers in these countries get more time for planning, grading, and collaborating with each other. So, do all those extra teaching hours translate to better results? Students in the US score slightly above the OECD average on the PISA exam, which tests 15-year-olds all over the world in reading, science, and math. But they score lower than students in countries like Finland, South Korea, Japan, and Singapore, where teaching hours are much lower. If we look inside Anna and Sophia's classrooms in the US and Finland, we'd see Anna teaching an hour and a half more per day than Sophia. Anna also spends more time planning lessons, grading student work, and leading extracurricular activities.
But that's not required,
those extra
though.
hours aren't necessarily reflected in Anna's paycheck. If you compare Sophia to other people in Finland with college degrees, she makes about 98 cents for every dollar that they make. That's on par with the pay ratio between teachers and college graduates in similar countries. But Anna and other American middle school teachers only make about 65 cents for every dollar that their college-educated peers make. Still, as politicians in the US never tire of pointing out,
I don't really like that graph.
We
They should
spend
just,
More per student than almost any country, I think.
than nearly every other country in the developed world.
but that figure varies a
they could
lot
have
by
did this a
state.
bit more creative, but either
New
way.
York spends twice as much as California on each student. Mississippi spends less than half as much as Alaska. And American schools generally spend a lot more on security and other non-instructional costs than schools in other countries. Plus, if you look at the share of its national wealth, or GDP, that each country spends on education, you can see there are plenty of countries spending a bigger share than the US. There's one other difference between Anna and Sophia. When they're asked whether people in their country value teachers, 2 out of 3 Finnish teachers say yes, but just 1 in 3 American teachers agree. There are a lot of reasons why teachers like Anna leave the classroom, but if the US wants to keep more of them around, we might want to take a few pages from Finland's book.
Alrighty, that was relatively quick. That went by quick. So I will add that the title was a bit misleading. Teaching in the US versus the rest of the world. I mean, with that type of I knew it wasn't going to be this, but if they're going to name it like that, I thought you'd think like it would be focusing more on like the teaching styles that teachers have across the world. I knew it was going to be mainly about the education, so they should have named it Education in the US versus the rest of the world. Either way though, I forgot what I was going to say, what I mentioned in the video earlier. Parents, that's what it was. Parents are usually a problem too. A lot of people, a lot of teachers I know, they just don't want to put up with parents. Parents could be a problem. Parents could be a problem for a lot of things. You're a coach. I'm a football referee. Parents are a huge problem. They complain a lot, and it's just a lot of stress. It's a lot of stress. I mean, being a teacher or anything that works with kids, the fault can be put on you so easily, and you won't even do nothing wrong because parents, majority of the time, are going to just believe their kids, and it could go wrong for you, unfortunately. So that's another thing. Parents could be a big problem. It could force people away. That's another reason why I don't want to put up with it. Maybe if I was, getting paid $80,000 or more and I'm putting up with parents, that's fine with me. But getting paid $35,000 right out of college for a teaching degree or for a teaching job, have to put up with bad kids, undisciplined kids, have to put up with parents, low pay, poor administration from the higher ups. It's just not enough. You can't put up with it. That's the truth. That's the truth. Parents ruin it. Low pay ruins it. Administration ruins it. It's, I don't know if I can use the word corrupt, but either way, it can definitely improve. Now, there's private schools in America, which obviously could be better or worse. I know, especially on the Republican side, they're fighting for more pro-school choice. I don't really understand that too much, like the whole area, to have an idea on that, have an opinion on that. I think, you should be able to go to whatever school you want, but I have to read more into that and everything. But either way, that's really all in education. I just got to say this, though. I would have became a teacher if the conditions were better. It has to be cheaper for schooling, okay? It has to just improve, but it's not gonna happen for a while. Not for a while. But, yeah, hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know what you guys think down below. I'm out. Peace.